Coach, as a play caller, what happens on the sideline when you lose a player like Terry McLaurin in the middle of a 2-minute drive?
Finally, asked my turn. I did 20 years, you know we back. No more Snyder, more McLaurin. 1-4 with the passion, you know we scoring. FedEx field back lit, no it is not boring. John Allen lead the troops, yeah you know we storming. Burgundy and gold in my veins, yeah I bleed that. St. Jude saw the ball, grab a pig, yeah I need that. YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with the video where we're going to be reacting to Bieniemy press conference today. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload new content like this to the channel. As you can see, we're on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. I'm doing a jersey giveaway, Terry McLaurin to be exact. More on that is going to be coming tomorrow, as I'll put out a separate video solely based on how you can enter the giveaway. But long story short, all you gotta do is be a subscriber to the channel. It's totally free to subscribe, so hit that subscribe button. Also, I will be going live tomorrow on the channel at 8 p.m. with some special guests, Jers from the Corner, Protect Sports Network, and Tim Sports Talk, as we're going to be talking about the Washington Commanders and much more. So please join me tomorrow at 8 p.m. Now let's get to today's video. EB has to say for us today.
Good afternoon. Hope all is well with everyone. Feels good having an opportunity to get back on the grass today. Looking back just a few days, it seemed like it was just yesterday. I thought our guys did a heck of a job of just finishing the game. And the thing that I love that stood out, our guys are learning how to strain the finish. That was impressive. Now it's on to the next one. With that said, I'm all ears.
Well, I am curious where you feel like this offense is at. Everything's new, a lot of new line starters, new young quarterback. Where are things at for you? Are they about where you hoped they would be?
I think we're taking the necessary steps, but we still have a long way to go. There's a lot of things that we can clean up and continue coaching through. First of all, our staff is doing a hell of a job. They're doing a great job of getting these guys aligned. They're doing a great job of getting these guys to gain a complete confidence in what we're doing. But when it's all said and done with, our guys are finding ways, creative ways, to drag themselves across the finish line. And like I said, when you have that resilience, it's something that you can build upon. I'm starting to see the second effort. On top of that, I'm seeing guys playing faster. You know, so all those things are just coming to light. Now we just got to continue cleaning up all the little stuff that's going to help us to become the better team.
What have you thought of Sam in these first two preseason games, and also the practices with Baltimore? You
know what? I thought Sam, his progression has been right where you would like it to be. I thought he's just stayed the course. You know, he's learned a lot just being out there.
I got a sub live on video. Shout out to who that subscribed, man. Let's see who subscribed. Shout out to you for subscribing to the channel, my guy. Thank you so much.
What have you thought of Sam in these first two preseason games, and also the practices with Baltimore?
You know what? I thought Sam, his progression has been right where you would like it to be. I thought he's just stayed the course. You know, he's learned a lot just being out there each and every day. I think watching Jacoby go out there and sling it around, making all the throws and just letting everything, you know, go free, that has helped him, because Jacoby is a outspoken individual in that room, and he's helped Sam tremendously. The thing I also like is that Sam, he auto-corrects, and you love that about him. And he takes it personal. He takes work home, and he loves to talk through all the little detailed nuances of the game. So I think he's right where he needs to be. He's done a heck of a job. I thought he did a good job as well in the practices, and he did a heck of a job in the game this past, whenever it was, just a day or two ago.
And that's one thing you got to say about Bieniemy, and I've been talking about the whole time. He continues to say the biggest thing that impresses him about Sam Howell is that he auto-corrects himself. You don't need to tell him more than once, hey, what you did wrong. Or you don't even need to tell him at all, because he automatically knows, hey, if this play didn't go right, I know why it didn't, and I know how to fix it. And you got to love that from Sam Howell.
Hey, Eric, over here. In the last game, obviously the starters mostly played through the first half, and the third game is often a game where guys don't play. We'll see if you guys do that or not. What's for you is that risk-reward line of I need to play these guys for whatever the reason versus, hey, there's no point in taking that injury risk?
Well, I think anytime when you play this game, there's always a risk involved, right? But one thing that we're taking pride in is that, hey, we fear nothing. We attack everything. So we have to stay on course with our progression and our growth process. We're trying to make sure that we can collectively grow together as a unit and as a team. So the thing that I want is that our guys, they want to play. They want to be out there, which gives us a chance. And so sometimes players get hurt. You'd never want anyone ever to get hurt. But at the end of the day, sometimes you come out with the results like we did this past weekend. So, and I understand it's preseason, but all those little things matter, and it helps to build the confidence. And on top of that, it's helping to establish a foundation in which we're building.
And quickly, that's what it's about, and that's why I keep making videos on the people that are saying, oh, Washington, why are you so excited that you won? It's not that we are winning the game at hand that matters. It's the future. It's the foundation that this team is setting, the new era that we're headed into. That's what it's about, and that's why we're so excited about the win that we had this past Monday night.
Obviously, you still have practices before the season starts, of course, but if the starters really don't play in this last game, do you feel good about where everybody is with those needed game reps?
Well, our starters are still working, and we got a lot of work to do. So we'll see exactly what we need to do moving forward.
Eric, in terms of Sam again, sometimes things can be overwhelming. Second-year pro, learning a new offense. When do you know, and what do you have to see from Sam to realize that things are starting to slow down for him, or he's not thinking, the gears are not moving, and he's kind of just reacting to what he sees?
Every day is a new day. And so there's certain things that click for him right away. And then there's certain nuances of what we're doing that kind of put him in that situation where he's slightly hesitant. And the thing, like I say to our coaching staff all the time, and I have to remind myself of is, you know, every time he does something, it's probably the first time that it's ever happened. And so you have to remind yourself of that. And then you just got to temper your expectations and just understand that he may not know what he don't know. So it's our job to collectively keep coaching and teaching through that process. So here, I just love the kid's demeanor. And I will say this, okay? Jacoby's been an outstanding leader in that room. He's been an outstanding, outspoken individual in that room. And then just the relationships that have been formulated in that room between himself, Jake, and Sam. It's a unique collective group, and they all feed off of one another.
You know, we discussed.
Let's keep it real, EB. Am I the only one that feels like that? They talk about Sam in such a high regard, rightfully so, that they always feel like, oh, I can't forget Jacoby Brissett. I can't forget Jake Fromm. I gotta mention how good they've been because I don't want to leave those guys out. Come on, let's be real. Nobody cares about Jacoby or Jake Fromm. We just want to hear you praise Sam Howell.
All the time about players changing teams. This is an adjustment. It's a challenge. You know, you've been here for several months now. What's the adjustment been like for you? Do you feel like right at home now? Are you kind of at peace and just old hat in a sense?
It's always an adjustment because you got to understand, we just flipped the script from going from training camp to now we're in the in-season type schedule. And so just making sure I can adapt to the new times in which we're doing things. You always got to be willing to adapt, and it's just a part of what we do. And if you can, everything just seems to make it just a little bit more easier. So the adapting to the situation has not been a problem at all. I'm just enjoying having an opportunity to take it one step at a time, one play at a time, and one day at a time.
Coach, as a play caller, what happens on the sideline when you lose a player like Terry McLaurin in the middle of a 2-minute drive?
Finally asked my turn.
You look at him, you stare at him, okay, he's okay. You just keep it moving. So that's a part of our business. Terry's a unique and special individual. But one thing we understand, the game must continue to go on. Terry wouldn't want us to be overtly concerned about what is going on or what's taking place with him because that's the competitor that he is.
And then early in this process, Jahan Dotson mentioned a conversation you had with him about your job being to get the most out of him during your time here. How do you feel from that point in minicamp to now? How do you feel you've done getting kind of Jahan up to that next level?
I love all our guys. I think all these guys. I think you can see the difference in how they're playing. They're playing faster. They're understanding all the little things where they fit within our concept and within our offense. And then they're being accountable to one another. You know, the things that you guys are seeing on the field is not necessarily the things that you're not seeing in the classroom. I love the dialogue and the things that take place. Just hearing those guys talk about the different things that could have taken place throughout the course of practice or throughout the course of game, or something that they did or they felt that they could have done better. And so I love it, and that's when you know that you're growing together. So I am very happy. First and foremost, I had an opportunity to work with Terry, but just on top of that, having an opportunity to work with this group, because this is a good, talented young group. We just got to keep working, and we got to keep putting it together.
How has Brian Robinson's growth as a pass catcher kind of allowed you to disguise kind of maybe formations with, if it's Antonio or Brian, just is it going to be a run, is it going to be a pass? Like, does it give you more options?
Brian's a football player, you know, and don't get me wrong, he's a hell of a runner, okay? But just like we talked about when we first got here, you know, we got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Let's go out there and show people what all you can do. Not only can he run it, but he for damn sure can catch it. And on top of that, he does a heck of a job stepping up in protection. So we want the most complete football player to happen to play at every position to be their best. And so it helps tremendously when you have a player and a person like that that's willing to do it all, because now that just helps diversify your offense and what you do.
Also about the backs, what have you seen from them with their blitz pickups, their chipping, just paying attention to those details? What have you seen?
You know what? I thought they put on a clinic this past weekend, whenever the hell we played, I'm sorry. But I thought they did a great job of picking up blitzes. And sometimes it's not always about the right technique, but it's always about identifying, just having that pre-snap awareness and post-snap awareness, the ability to react, and then on top of that, taking the charge. And it's nothing more exciting, you know, for a quarterback to know that those guys are doing those things. And when those guys are doing it, everybody else is seeing what they're doing. So you talk about being accountable, all right? Those guys are doing everything under the sun in the pass game to make it successful for our offense where we can make the downfield throws. Well, in return, you see receivers now lining up and starting to make blocks downfield. Those are the little unique things that are helping us. Now, is it perfect all the time? No. We still have to learn how to make second effort a habit, all right? But you're starting to see it more, and then you're seeing the conversations taking place where you don't necessarily have to hear me say, hey, finish, or go find work. Now those guys are repeating everything that we've discussed over the past few months.
That's crazy that he said they put on a clinic, you know what I'm saying? Because I really didn't pay attention to the pass blocking from our running backs. But, I mean, when you got Jonathan Williams out here body slamming guys, I guess that is worthy of saying we put on a clinic. But we got some quality backs that can pass block. Obviously, I love what I seen from Jonathan Williams and ability to pass block. Chris Rodriguez has that ability. You know, Brian Robinson and AG are work in progress, but they're not total, like, trash when it comes out there. So I guess putting on a clinic is high praise.
And at what point do you just kind of flip the switch and focus on the Cardinals in Week 1 for the offense?
That would be hell. When do we play? We play Friday or Saturday? Okay, Saturday when the game is done. I'm a little partly cloudy now. I forget what day it is. Hell, we just played, and it's damn near like a Thursday night game for us coming up.
Before you got to Washington, were you aware that Terry McLaurin had a reputation for being underrated, and how does that square with what you've seen from him?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know when Terry has ever been underrated. We loved him coming out. We did a lot of work on watching him when he came out in the draft his year. And so I have known all about him. There's no hidden secret, and there's no surprise to his mental ability, his physical capabilities. I just love the person. I love the role model, and I love the leader, you know, and I love the things that he brings to this organization and to our locker room.
Where does that?
Go ahead.
Where does that gap come from? But you know, whether it's the players and the public, and are there other players that reminds you of?
You know what? I mean, you can always compare people, but he's his own unique individual, and that's what stands out. You know, at times he's very quiet. At times he can be very outspoken. He brings a lot of energy. He's very intelligent. He plays hard. He plays fast. He cares. He's not afraid of being vulnerable and asking tough questions. And so those are the things that you like about him, because the only thing he does, he helps others around him to be better. And that's what you want. When you have role models like that in your locker room, you have a chance. You have a chance because those young guys get to learn from such an ultimate professional on what it's like to be a professional at this level.
Check last one. A lot of kids, grown men, this is the job that they're trying to get, and they have this opportunity come Saturday night. They don't know if they're going to be on the squad or not. What's your mission statement to them? You've been through this many years. What is it that they need to do in order to get their name called and be seen?
You know what? It's always tough because there's relationships that are always established, and you're watching some of the growth process that these guys have made throughout the off season and up until this point. But I will say this: you wouldn't want it no other way. You want it to be hard. You want the decisions to be tough, because if the decisions are hard and tough, that means we've done our job. And so if we've done our job, then guess what? There's 31 other teams that are watching as well. And maybe at some point, those guys will get picked up and they'll remember everything that they learned here, you know, all the work ethics on the field and off the field, and just the understanding of how we do things. And so, like I said, it's tough, but it's also rewarding. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
As always, it's a great time when you get to hear from offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. Man, he said Terry McLaurin, back during his draft time, they did extensive research on Terry. Could you imagine if Terry McLaurin was a Kansas City Chief right now? He would probably be, not probably, he would be in a discussion for best wide receiver in football, hands down. So I'm fully excited and expecting Terry to take that leap once he gets healthy, and I think he's going to be in the discussion for one of the best receivers in football at the end of this year with Eric Bieniemy's tutelage. So with that being said, as always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already, man. See y'all next time. I'm out. Peace.